hello everyone, and welcome to the show. My name is Andrew De Silva, and next to me is a lovely Jolene Barry.
Hello everyone, we're really excited that you guys would have invited us into your homes, but more so that this is our very first episode of 1+1, the show that's all about the ups and downs, the highs and the lows of entrepreneurship.
Yes, on the show we'll be seeking to address some of the issues facing young entrepreneurs in St. Vincent and Grenadines. We will also having some successful entrepreneurs on the show as they share their experiences. We hope that they will be inspiring to you budding entrepreneurs out there and help you properly better navigate the pitfalls on the path to successful entrepreneurship.
Yes, so we have a wonderful lineup for you. I don't want to let the cat out of the bag just yet, but I hope that you have your seatbelts fastened. We have, like Andrew would have said, some wonderful entrepreneurs who we look up to. In our line of work, we work with a lot of entrepreneurs, the younger ones as well as the older ones, who relay their advice and their experiences to the younger ones. And so we thought it would be nice to have this television show so that we could broaden our audience. You know, the journey of entrepreneurship is one that is very exciting, very frustrating, but it's very rewarding, and we get to experience that with our young entrepreneurs.
Yes, we do, and I like how you put the highs and the lows, especially startups and all that drama. So, Ms. Paris, when you hear the word young entrepreneur, or entrepreneur in general, what do you think of?
Typically, when someone hears the word entrepreneur, the first thing that you think of is someone who owns their own business. And that is absolutely correct. But entrepreneurship is a bit deeper than that. There's a lot more depth to the word entrepreneurship. You know, an entrepreneur is somebody who typically is innovative, somebody who's willing to take risk, somebody who's okay with uncertainty, somebody who has a lot of goals, and somebody who's driven so that they can achieve whatever goals that they might have, somebody who wants to make a difference, somebody who loves to create something out of nothing, you know. So entrepreneurship is something that's very fun, and like I said, something that's very rewarding.
Yes, I agree with you. And is it that anybody can become an entrepreneur? Or are there special people?
That's debatable. I for one think that we all have the ability to become entrepreneurs, but not everybody wants to jump in to uncertainty. Not everybody, you know. Something that I always tell people is that it's better for you to jump into entrepreneurship while you're young. And you know, you don't have to think about, my kids and my husband, what are we gonna eat next week?
Mortgage.
And and the mortgage. I have to take out the second mortgage so that I can finance my business and things like that. So it's better for you to jump into entrepreneurship at a younger age. But I think anybody has the ability to become an entrepreneur once you educate yourself and you know you have that kind of drive to make it happen, because I always say dreams don't work unless you do. It's not happening. So once you have that drive to make it happen, then I think anybody has the ability to become an entrepreneur.
And I like how you mentioned risks. To become an entrepreneur is risky and
it's a gamble.
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
and most businesses fail. About 8
out of 10 businesses fail.
Yeah, within the first year, actually.
Yeah.
So it's something that you need to try and try and try again.
Yeah.
I'm sure if we could think back of some of the successful entrepreneurs in history, when we think about people like Steve Jobs, and we think about, you know, anybody else?
Richard Branson. Colonel Sanders.
Colonel Sanders. Yes, as you know, the story is when yesterday, Colonel Sanders would have tried to sell his recipe to 1,000 restaurants. Before he got through, they all told him that his recipe was not good enough. But yes, still even now, even years after, in St. Vincent, we eat his chicken.
Pretty sure some of us had KFC yesterday, right?
Religiously, yes.
Yeah, so there are a lot of successful entrepreneurs out there, and you know, they had to go through a lot. They had to take out that second mortgage even. I mentioned Richard Branson. He's one of those people who had to endure failure. And there's another thing. A lot of people will probably put you down and tell you that, you know, they're probably not going to believe in you. That's when you have to believe in yourself a million times more, when people just think that you're insane and this is a terrible idea and this is not going to work. That's when you have to believe in yourself and tell yourself that I can do this, and it is going to be worth the pain. The price is going to be worth the pain at the end of the day.
Yeah, I agree. Let's look at what does it take to be an entrepreneur. Do I need a big loan? Do I need a big warehouse to start my business?
I think it would certainly be nice to have a lot of capital at your disposal.
True.
But like we were saying before, a lot of successful entrepreneurs started in their backyard. They started in their basement. They started in somebody's little shack somewhere. You know, everybody has to start somewhere. But that's the thing, you have to start.
You have to start.
You know, work with what you have, work with the means that you have, network with people who would be able to help you to achieve whatever goals you have, short-term goals, so that the long-term goals would be, you know, more achievable for you and your business. Yeah, so I think it's certainly nice to have all of these things at your disposal, but the truth and fact of the matter is that chances are you're one of those people who probably won't have the access to all of those things you need to start with a bang. But like I said before, you just need to get a start. That's what most people, I think, need when it comes to entrepreneurship. They just need to start.
Yeah. Just once you have a good business plan or idea, rather, you just have to have an idea, a goal, something that you want to have happen, and you take stock of yourself. What are my skills? What do I bring to the table? Who do I know? We all know this saying, it's not what you know, it's who you know. What contacts do I have? And you work from there. You work small and you work from there. If you look at the life of J.K. Rowling, most of us will know her as the writer of the Harry Potter books. Right? She had a rough life. She was divorced, a single parent, living off of welfare.
Good example.
And trying to put herself through school. Right? When she was writing these books, and now she's a multi-billionaire, not millionaire, you know, billionaire, because of her books. So anybody, absolutely anybody could be an entrepreneur. You just need that drive. You just need that idea and that passion.
You know, a common mistake that a lot of young entrepreneurs make is that they don't look at not looking at what's the most that I could afford to lose. You know, you want to get the job done, but because entrepreneurship is such a gamble, you have to look at what you can afford to lose at any point in time and use that to make whatever decisions you might have to make. That's definitely one of the most important things you should think about whenever you're making any kind of decisions in your business. Yeah. Especially
knowing when you have that in mind going in, it's easier to persevere. There's less you're less discouraged with failure, you know, when you have that mindset going in. Because a lot of young people go into business thinking, boy, I need to make some quick money. I need to get on my feet. No, but that's not what businesses are about.
Listen, if you're thinking about starting your own business for quick money, you should probably look into something else.
I agree.
You should probably look into something else. And I think one of the qualities that every entrepreneur or young entrepreneur should have is patience. You're going to need a lot of patience because entrepreneurship is not something that happens, you know, it's not a fly-by-night kind of thing, and it's something that's going to take time to develop before you could actually get in all the big bucks.
And you try and try again.
Exactly.
You try and try again.
Yeah.
So it's a rewarding, like you said, a rewarding adventure, but it really takes the energy.
Yeah.
And the skills that a young entrepreneur should have, right? Do I need to have a university education? Do I need to at least be able to count?
I think it would certainly be nice to have a university degree. But the fact of the matter is, many of our successful entrepreneurs, not only those abroad, but those residing right here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, don't even have a university degree, you know?
So, if you look at the lives of a lot of the entrepreneurs in history, you see that some of them were dropouts, university dropouts.
Yeah.
You look at Bill Gates, he didn't complete college. We look at Thomas Edison, the creator of the light bulb. His teacher would have told him he can't learn and wouldn't amount to anything.
Yeah, and it's not just entrepreneurs overseas or abroad, but entrepreneurs right here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines don't even have a university degree. Some of them might not even have been to A-level college. You know, like I said, it would certainly help to have, you know, education up to that level, but it's not a necessity. You know, entrepreneurship is something that requires, you could have a degree, but you could have no passion, no kind of passion whatsoever for business or no passion to achieve.
I don't know much about bookkeeping. I don't know much about financial statements. I don't know much about managing a business. Is this something I should be concerned about if I'm considering becoming an entrepreneur?
It would definitely be an asset to have these things as knowledge. It would be wonderful to have a university degree. But the fact of the matter is a lot of successful entrepreneurs, not only abroad, but entrepreneurs right here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, they might not have a university degree, you know, but I think it's important for you to have the drive to educate yourself in these things, because they're certainly an asset to have when you're starting a business. Yeah.
And it's all about trial and error, okay?
That too, yeah.
You fail and you learn from your mistakes.
That's true.
And talking to those who you know around you who are in business, getting advice from persons in the business, getting advice from your parents. They have been putting you through school. They have been providing for you all those monies who are well managed. So some advice is good.
Yes, you have to be willing to get advice, and not only that, but willing to accept criticism when it comes as well.
So what are some of the reasons that you have encountered that people start their own business?
A lot of people decide to start their own business because of two magic words.
What's that?
You're fired. Or they at the end of the month, they just don't have, they think that they don't have enough disposable income. There's too much month at the end of the money. You know? So some people just want to make a difference. You know, you see that there's an area for improvement or a need for change, and so you decide that you want to start your own business. Or, you know, unemployment in St. Vincent and the Grenadines is pretty high at this present moment in time. And you might decide that, you know, I want to start my own business so that I can create jobs for Vincentians out there who are struggling, you know, who need the money. And so that's another reason. And, you know, some people just have a need for independence. I actually spoke with a young lady yesterday. She called and she was like, I fed up work for people. I fed up. I want to start my own business. Some people just, they just want that kind of independence for themselves and for their family, and so they decide to start their own businesses. So there are a lot of reasons why people start their own businesses, and hopefully most people, or the people who are watching this show, they're starting businesses for the greater good and not for evil.
At least we have your imaginations rolling and considering. I think too that not only people who want independence, not only people who don't have enough month at the end of the money, but persons who are financially stable. If you're in a good job, you might be satisfied with what you have, but there's something called passive income. It's good to, you know, not be satisfied with where you are, but use that extra income that you have at the end of the month, invest it in yourself, invest it in a business so you'll be able to build more, increase. It's about investment. We think about the 5 and 10 and 1 talents. You know, the 5 and 2 and 1 talents, the Proverbs in the Bible. But yeah, it's something to do, not only for those who are struggling, but for those who have it made. Just having a career should not be, you know, satisfying for you. Yes, it's good, but if you don't go to work one day, if you don't go to work for a month, the boss gonna say, look, you can come to work for the month, you can't get paid. Right? Whereas a business, as an entrepreneur in your own business, yes, there's gonna be a time where you're in there probably more than a 9 to 5, probably a 4 to 12. But at the end of the day, you'll have something substantial to show for it. At the end of the day, you'll have something to be proud of that you have made and created, and somebody else won't take credit for. Because you're working for the boss man, nobody not saying you know, the boss man making the money at the end of the day. But at some point, you'll want that for yourself. And secondly, inheritance, passing on something to your kids. They can't pass on your job as much as you would like to, but if you have a small business, you know, that's something that you could pass on to your kids. You can get them involved in so they can learn skills, discipline, and they'll be, you know, leaps and bounds ahead of their counterparts in school. So being an entrepreneur is something that's a wonderful concept.
Yeah, I have heard people say before that they're going to start their own business because a 9 to 5 is just not for me. You know, I just want to kick back, relax, and just go to Egypt tomorrow because I can't deal with this 9 to 5 thing, so I'm going to start my own business. And, you know, they make it sound like it's so easy. You know, some of the entrepreneurs we have on the show, they're going to tell you that they had to work 25/8 so that they could get their business to where it is today. So it's definitely going to take a lot of hard work. So if you're going into entrepreneurship thinking that it's going to be pretty little, we call one of them things?
Bed of roses, no?
Thinking that it's going to be a bed of roses, Yes,
Yeah,
your
yeah.
mindset might need to change a little before you jump into the
Yeah.
water. Yes.
And getting back to figuring out how much you can lose, how much you're willing to lose. I think the sacrifice is not just money, but it's time, as we just said.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, all your friends will be going to Suka Monarch and Wet Fete and all these things, but
Yeah.
you'll be home just working on your business, whether it be the business idea, whether it be making a deadline, whether it be you actually putting that product together with your own hands.
But balance is important, though.
Balance.
Balance is definitely
Yes,
important.
I agree. And so it's a sacrifice.
Yeah.
It's a real sacrifice.
You're sacrificing all of your resources,
Yes.
not just the
Yeah,
money.
yeah. Because I mean, there's a famous proverb made even more famous by a song. So heights of great men reached and kept were not attained by sudden flight, but they, while their companions slept, were
Toiling
toiling
through the
upwards
night. Yep.
through the night. Right. So it's really a struggle, a rewarding struggle, but it's adventure that I think everybody should make.
Yes. So, like we would have said before, we have a lot prepared for you guys on this show. Please tune in again.